one of the things they do a lot of in third grade is a lot of trying to learn the facts, addition and subtraction, and then going to multiplication. So there's an emphasis on the time testing till they really get those facts down.
When I started the time test, I got a little stressed and it was hard for me.
If there was a single noise during the time testing, it was the end of a day, she was tired, and there'd be often a lot of yelling, or no one in the family could do anything right around those 2 minutes. And it was just hard to set up a friendly environment for her to do the time testing without being so frustrated and so angry.
When Carol contacted me, I wasn't aware that Faye was having a problem because she was holding it together pretty well in math. But when I found out there was a problem, I knew immediately that we needed to make it right for Faye so that she enjoyed math and could feel like she was doing well in math.
If I would have kept on doing timed practices and having my mom check my homework, I think math wouldn't be so fun for me and I'd be really stressed.
The school didn't want that to be the situation at home, and they, I'm sure, had no idea that that was happening, and I figured that if we were going to change anything, they couldn't know what was happening at home unless I went and talked to them. And both Mrs. Berry and Mrs. Joyner were so open.
Things started getting better when Mrs. Joyner told me that my mom or dad didn't have to check my homework and I could just write my name and I didn't have to be timed for the timed practices.
I think it's important for teachers to remember that the students have a lot of different things going on in their lives, and if the parents come to you and communicate a problem, it's important to try to work it out to make it right for that child. And communicate from both sides what's important and what we can let go. There are certain things that you can let go to make it right for a student. Changes that can be made, adapt different lessons. But I think it's important for parents and teachers to work together to make it happen for the child.
I think as a parent, you're the only one who really knows what your child is feeling. And the teacher has 20, 30 kids in their classroom, and in this case, Mrs. Joyner only sees Faye an hour a day, so she doesn't actually even have her in the homeroom. So it's hard for her to have the same relationship with Faye that I have, and I know that Faye is, she's probably holding it together in class, and there's nothing wrong with her grade. She's clearly understanding the work, but the intensity and the anger and the frustration around it, I just assumed no one in the education system would want any child feeling like that at home. So I would just say, if your child is having, you have to be in touch with what your child is feeling and what your child needs, and then communicating it to the administration and to the teacher in a non-aggressive way. I think I just went in and told them how we were feeling at home and how she was feeling, and I didn't make any demands on what I wanted changed. I just said, this is what's happening at home. I don't know what to do to change it, but I really feel something needs to change because we're all miserable.
So often when a teacher comes to me for suggestions in dealing with a parent that's having a problem, they want to know what the boundaries are. How far can they go outside of the boundaries to help that child? We're public education. We've got certain regulations to abide by. And so it's a great time for the teacher and I to sit down and talk about, bottom line is, what is going to meet the student's needs best. So when the parent goes to meet with the teacher has some background information, has talked about ideas and suggestions, and the teacher's comfortable that what they're going to offer the parent is something that could work within the school district regulations also. And that gives the teacher, I think, a sense of confidence, and it helps the parent to also feel confident that the teacher has given a lot of thought into the situation.
There is a brilliant child locked inside every student.